But has anyone, anywhere, tried to achieve the richly tapestried impact of such a vertical garden on a more domestic scale? Why did you want to install a green wall in this tiny little courtyard?
Well, it just simply wasn't anywhere in the horizontal plane to put any plants. I mean, we just felt that we needed to have some green to soften it, to make it more attractive. And the only space left was the walls.
So you can't use the servicing, you just start going up the walls?
Yeah.
Chris used yet another system, this time a proprietary one he came across on the internet, to construct his living wall. So how does this system actually work?
Quite simple, really. It relies on water percolating from the top of the wall through this crate system.
Yep.
And this crate has got many different cavities in it. The plants are sat in these crates, and then water runs from the top, from a leaky hose in this position, through those crates. Sort of percolates.
I've got you. And is it, do you plant it up, you know, vertically while it's hanging on the wall, or do you plant it up on the ground and then stick it up there?
Well, no, this is actually planted in a greenhouse environment to propagate the plants well and to get them roots all matted together and established.
Yeah.
And then we put it onto the wall. It's really just a stud-work wall, and you know, this is screwed to that grid of stud work. Behind this, just for protecting the timber, we put a tie-vac roofing felt. Allows it to breathe.
You've very much gone for a geometric design here.
Yes.
In a way. I mean, you know, there's squares of different plants. Was that your idea?
Yes, yeah. Well, I suppose I'm an architect, I like geometric things. And then we've actually added in one or two splashes of colour of more recent times. So it's quite flexible. You can sort of shove in a few more plants if you think it'll add a bit of colour.
This is Perronet House. Positioned right next to a massive multi-laned roundabout, it's a large and daunting-looking council tower block built in 1970 with no real garden space. Ben Mason is a leading horticultural light on his landing. Is this just your own balcony here?
No, this is actually a communal space, and each floor has its own kind of communal sun deck like this.
So anybody from this floor can
Anybody
access
from this floor has a key, comes out here, on days unlike this, enjoys the sunshine, and yeah, it's lovely.
So it's very important to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important for these blocks, you know, right in the middle of town, there's no real outside space, you know, apart from this, so yeah, it gets used a lot.
And you've got quite a lot of edibles here. You've got herbs and your tomatoes and...
Yeah, this is where it all started for me, really. I kind of got into gardening through food.
But where do you go from here? What's the next stage?
Well, that's quite a difficult one. Who knows?
So what about using some of this vertical space a bit more cleverly?
I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah?
Great.
When you can't go out anymore, you go up.
Go up, indeed. Good plan.
So, to challenge Ben to think vertically, I'm introducing him to a friend of mine who won a coveted RHS gold medal at this year's Chelsea Flower Show for demonstrating how the vertical approach can even relate to a small family garden.
Happiest Yorkshireman around.
Yes.
It's going to be a good day today.
In fact, vertical gardening was generally all the rage at this year's show.
This is Mark Gregory's vision on behalf of the Children's Society, and it's incredibly practical and, as you'd expect, environmentally tactful. There's somewhere to keep the bicycles and also, of course, somewhere to put the recycling bin. But it's that catches my eye. It's a real theme this year. Why simply grow along the ground when you can plant up the wall as well?
So I thought he'd be the ideal gardener to come up with a way of creating a vertical garden on a budget.
I'll give you a hand.
It's great. It's a beautiful object in its own right, I think.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And it isn't even planted yet. So explain how it works. Run us through it.
What my bookshelf system. Basically, I just wanted to do something that you know, people can emulate. It's a kind of DIY kind of planting wall. And really what I've just used these softwood deck boards, just standard deck boards you can get anywhere. And we've stained them just to make it last longer.
Yeah.
It's got a ply back. And really, it's just a series of compartments.
And then they're slightly louvered, aren't they, to hold the compost in? So when it goes upright, it won't all just fall out the front. Right, well, I'll leave you lot to it. So before we can plant up or even fill up with compost, Mark has to drill holes for the irrigation pipes to pass through. He's chosen a simple drip line system that can be found in any good garden centre.
Well, Mark, we've got an interesting intestinal system here. This is your irrigation. It's a bit Heath Robinson, isn't it? But will it work?
The thing is, with this kind of system, it does need water, it needs irrigation. And really what we've used is just this standard drip line, and the idea is that every pocket gets water. Basically, underneath that comes out, just push your hose pipe on there.
And that fills it up from the bottom?
Fills it up through this main pipe, and even the main pipe has got drippers. Basically, the water kind of comes through and trickles down each section.
But if you don't plug it into the hose pipe, you've got a system you can use a watering can as well. A trickle-down effect, I think they call it in America.
This is the belt and braces, Joe. This has got every extra. This has got a hopper at the top where you can water and put your feed in as well. I think you've really got to treat it like a hanging basket. If you don't water a hanging basket fairly daily, it'll just dry out.
So it's ready to go? Yeah? We can put the compost in and plant it up then?
Yeah.
Great. Oh, don't faff about doing that. This is the way to do it. I'll play me Joker, definitely, on this one.
And like a hanging basket, we're using a good quality, moisture-retaining compost.
So what's next then, Mark?
Well, we're going to cover it with a geotextile, which is this material.
Oh, it seems a shame to cover it up. It's so beautiful.
Well, this basically will keep everything in and allow the water to come through it, but it won't allow the separation of the soil. So if you leave the water on, it's all not going to just collapse on you. I just want to put one through my finger.
Yeah. Right, now we get creative with it, OK? So I'm just going to draw some bands through here, yeah.
Well, we did film a section where I revealed my fantastic Patrick Blanc-inspired planting plan to the team. But since I brought along a black pen to sketch it out on a piece of black geotextile...
Are you going to give us a key, Joe, to what goes where?
Yeah.
And since no one paid any attention anyway, let's just move on to the bit where we start planting.
If it's tight, I can make a little cross in it, but
It's making it hard.
Yeah, that's good. All the roots are going to just knit together. And another one in there while you're at it.
In essence, the secret of vertical gardening is to put your most drought-resistant, sun-loving plants up near the top and your damply shade-tolerant lovers near the bottom, where more of the water will collect.
Are you happy with the overall?
I think the creative swathes are excellent. Good direction.
Excellent.
Now we've got like the mints up here together and the strawberries kind of coming through the middle.
Yeah.
Looking good.
So we're going to put it in its final position?
I think we ought to.
What do you think, Mark?
absolutely.
Yeah?
Let's go for it.
OK, let's have a little bit of a tidy up and then we'll put it in.
Patrick Blanc, eat your heart out, eh? We've included a variegated oregano, purple basil and thyme, to name just a few of the herbs. Oh, and as I'm sure you all know, you can eat nasturtium leaves and the flowers.
OK, straight up, standing that up.
Oh, trapped there, Joe.
Put it down, and then I'll get out, and we'll walk it back.
To me, to you, to me.
How many gardeners does it take to make a herb garden?
Well, let's just have a look at that.
That's cool. Right, stand back, have a look. Pat ourselves on the back. That's really cool, isn't it? What do you think?
It's fantastic, isn't it? It's just amazing. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's
cool.
beautiful.
It is
really good.
But it's going to knit together as well. I think in the next 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to look absolutely fantastic.
And it's just fit so well with all the stuff I had already. You know, it's kind of like a carpet going up into a wall.
Yeah. I want one.
Stay away from this one.
But there's like 15, roughly, different varieties of herbs and stuff in there without using any ground space at all. It's pretty clever.
It's just amazing. And so much for all the residents here. The whole floor can come out and enjoy it. I think it's just excellent.
Well done, Mark.
Good use of space.
It's worked.
Test works.